Welcome to the deep dive. We usually dig through sources to get you well informed. But today, we're doing something a bit different. We've got a collection of true stories, really chilling accounts, actually, tales from summer holidays that went wrong. Very wrong. Forget the usual relaxing vibes. These stories, they remind you that darkness can creep in anywhere, anytime. We're going to share 4 of these encounters, told by the people who lived through them.
And what's striking, really, is how relatable that feeling of unease is, that sense that something is just off. It often stays with you, doesn't it? Long after the experience. Makes these stories hit hard.
It really does. So, settle in. These aren't your typical vacation photos. We're about to explore some true accounts that might just make you think twice about your next getaway. Okay, our first story. It takes us to, believe it or not, Disneyland, Florida. Should be the happiest place on earth, right? The person telling this was about 6, maybe 7. Blue-eyed, blonde kid. And they remember being kept on a lead, like a leash. Their parents were apparently super paranoid the whole trip. The narrator admits they weren't exactly easy. Described themselves as a joy of a child, prone to barking like a dog, rolling on the floor. Basically protesting the leash constantly.
You can imagine the frustration for a kid wanting to run free, especially there. But it also shows the parents' level of anxiety.
Absolutely. That contrast is key. So, the last day, they make a deal. The strap comes off. Big concession. But the condition was strict. Hold the parent's hand, no exceptions. And it worked, for a while. Everyone relaxed a bit. Then the kid gets distracted, sees Minnie Mouse, lets go of the hand for just a second, then feels another hand grab theirs, assumes it's their dad again, keeps walking, even starts running a bit towards the exit.
That moment of mistaken trust, terrifying.
And then the mother screams, like a blood-curdling scream that cuts through the park noise. The kid looks back, sees their mom, their brother, and, crucially, their real dad, chasing after them, panicked.
Right there, the familiar becomes the unknown, in supposedly the safest, happiest place. The violation of that expectation is deeply unsettling.
It really is. The hand holding theirs grips tighter. The kid looks up. It's not their dad. 40s, black hair. No. It's a man in his mid-50s. Gray hair, beard, and his face. Completely blank, calm, no expression at all. Chillingly calm. The kid just instinctively goes lead weight, plants their feet like brakes. That, plus the mother screaming, people starting to look. It gives the family just enough time.
That instinct, that sudden resistance, probably saved them.
It seems like it. The man sees the family closing in, realizes it's over. He just drops the hand.
Yeah.
And melts back into the crowd. Vanishes. The real dad gives chase, but the narrator mentions he was built for comfort, not speed. Couldn't catch him. Mom's hysterical, obviously. And the kid's main takeaway: devastation. Because they knew right then they'd never be trusted off that lead again.
Wow. Even after that terror, the child's logic focuses on the consequence.
Yeah. And the police later confirmed it wasn't isolated. There were other attempted abductions around that time.
It's a stark reminder. Even in controlled environments, danger can be right there, hidden in plain sight. Vigilance is key.
It definitely shifts your perspective on crowded places.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on from theme parks to the wilderness. Our next accounts come from a backpacker and their brother. They spent several summers exploring the American landscape. Saw some truly strange things. First, they found an abandoned trailer town, just stumbled upon it. Said it genuinely terrified them. Empty, silent. Then, a tiny, rundown town in northern New Mexico. Seemed like only one person lived there. They found fresh food, supplies maybe only a few days old, so someone was there recently. They spent days trying to find this person, calling out, searching. Nothing. Just silence. The mystery of it.
That speaks to such a profound isolation, doesn't it? The evidence of recent life, but the complete absence of the person. It leaves so many unsettling questions.
It really does. And their findings get progressively weirder and darker. In the Ozarks, they found this horrifying scene. Skeletal remains of deer, bucks, fawns, all sorts, all tangled up in maybe a 10 by 10 foot section of barbed wire fence. Skulls were placed on the fence posts like some kind of warning or ritual. And in the middle, one post had what looked like 2 deer bodies just wrapped around it, mangled, only 6 hooves sticking out.
Deliberately macabre, not just an accident. Someone arranged that. The purpose is terrifyingly unclear.
Exactly. It's just a monument to something awful. Then, way up in the Yukon, Canada. Deep woods, middle of nowhere, they find a dummy just hanging from a tree.
Again, no context.
None. Miles from anywhere.
Just hanging there.
Inexplicable. Makes your skin crawl thinking about who put it there and why. And their last discovery, on the road out of Olympia. Grimly tragic. Found a deceased drug user, arm tied off, needle still in hand, eyes glazed, mouth open. Clear overdose.
These encounters, though different, they all touch on the uncanny, don't they? Remnants of lives or events that just don't make sense. They confront you with the unexplained, the disturbing edges of the world, leaving you with more questions than answers.
Yeah, unsettling traces left behind. Okay, our third story. North Idaho, 2005, Memorial Day weekend. The narrator is 18, high school senior. Out camping deep in the woods, like 30 minutes drive from anything resembling civilization. The night starts, as you might expect. Teenagers camping. Everyone gets, in their words, completely trashed. Things quiet down around 12:30 a.m. Most people pass out or go to sleep. Then, 2:30 a.m., a shotgun blast echoes through the forest. The narrator, still pretty drunk, just kind of dismisses it. Figures it's their friend Brent, who was sober, just being a prick with his gun, showing off or something. Checks their phone, barely registers it, drifts back to sleep. About half an hour later, 3:00 a.m., woken up again, this time by sobbing. Someone boiling their eyes out. Takes a full 5 minutes, still groggy to realize. It's Brent, and he's bleeding. A lot from his nose and mouth.
The shift there, from annoyance at a friend to realizing something is seriously wrong, that's terrifying.
Absolutely. The narrator scrambles out of the tent. Another friend, Jeremy, follows him out. And bam, suddenly hit over the head, hard, with a rock. Knocks the narrator out cold.
Just ambushed, in the dark, miles from help. That isolation suddenly becomes critical.
Utterly critical. The rest comes from Jeremy, who saw it happen. He saw this huge man lunge out from behind a tree, smash the rock right into the narrator's face, described the attacker as massive, at least 6'4", maybe 280 pounds, a wooded monster of a man. Then this guy tackles Jeremy, starts choking him. It's a desperate struggle. But then another friend, Sarah, manages to find Brent's pistol, the one he'd fired earlier. She fires and misses the attacker by a mile, apparently, but the sound, the blast in the quiet woods, it startles him.
The gunshot broke the spell, gave them a chance.
Exactly. The monster just bolts, sprints off into the pitch-black woods, and he's gone. Never seen again. Never caught. The aftermath was brutal. The narrator had 3 broken teeth, a severe concussion. Brent had it worse in some ways. Part of his tongue had been cut off with a knife, about 2 centimeters, and his nose was broken.
Mutilated? Why? What happened when Brent was alone with him?
That's the thing. Brent never talked about it. Not really. Refused to give police much detail. To this day, his speech is affected. You can hear the missing piece of his tongue when he talks. And the narrator, never been back in the deep forest since. The trauma is lasting.
The silence from Brent is almost as chilling as the attack itself. What horrors did he experience that he can't or won't speak about? The psychological scars run deep.
Deep and silent. It leaves this huge, dark question mark. Which brings us to our final story for today. This one was shared by the narrator's best friend. It happened to him and his younger brother one summer. They shared a bedroom. Not by choice, really. The younger brother had multiple health issues from birth, including MS. He was in a wheelchair, couldn't care for himself. So the older brother sharing the room meant someone was always there, keeping an eye on him, especially overnight.
A heavy responsibility for a young person.
Definitely. So one night, the friend just wakes up. No specific reason, just wakes in the middle of the night. He glances over towards his younger brother's crib, and he sees it, a silhouette, in a window right behind the crib. A man wearing a top hat, just looking in.
Oh, that's primal fear territory, being watched in your own bedroom, especially focused on the vulnerable sibling.
Instantly terrifying. His reaction is immediate. Jumps out of bed, flips on the lights, runs straight to his parents' room, yelling at the man in the window. The parents, obviously alarmed, rush back to the boys' room with him, and they find the younger brother in his crib, having a seizure.
Wow. The timing.
Incredibly chilling timing. And the family. They've tried to make sense of it since. 2 main interpretations emerge. Some family members prefer to think the figure, the man in the top hat, was the younger brother's guardian angel, standing watch, protecting him.
A comforting interpretation, perhaps, in the face of something frightening and inexplicable.
Maybe. But the friend, the one who actually saw the figure, he doesn't buy the angel theory. He firmly believes what he saw was death itself, come calling.
2 starkly different ways to process the same unsettling vision. It really highlights how we impose meaning onto the unknown, searching for either solace or confirmation of our deepest fears.
It really does. So we've gone from Disney to the deep woods, abandoned towns, and finally right into a child's bedroom. These stories, they just hammer home that unsettling things can happen literally anywhere, even, or maybe especially, during those supposedly carefree summer days. And they leave these questions hanging, don't they? Who was the man at Disney? What was the deal with that deer fence or the dummy? Who was the monster in the woods? Why the mutilation? and the figure in the window, angel or reaper.
Exactly. The real horror often isn't in jump scares or gore, but in that lack of explanation. The disruption of the reality we thought we knew, that's what leaves the lasting mark. The mystery itself is the source of the dread.
So what's the takeaway for you listening? Maybe it's just a reminder. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy the summer. But remember, strange things linger in the shadows. And maybe some stories, some mysteries, don't have neat endings. What part of these accounts stands out most to you? We hope these stories were, well, captivating, maybe a little chilling for you, as they were for us. Thanks for joining this particular deep dive into the unexplained. If you found these stories intriguing, or maybe a bit unsettling, please do give this video a like, share it with someone else who appreciates a true scare, and definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs, for more content like this. Until next time, stay curious. And remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the true ones.